What you doing? What you doing? You're holding the camera. What you doing? You're holding the camera. You're holding the camera. You're holding the camera. What you doing? You're holding the camera.
Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Cheeto Crew at its finest. In our last episode, we were talking a little bit about faith and where faith comes from. Where does the energy of faith come from? But today we're doing something different. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of my drawing skills, some of the talents that I have. I'm going to put you into a story situation, and then I want to see how you react on that story. And following after that, we're going to dive back into the book that I've been reading, and it's called The Pursuit. This book has been teaching me a lot lately, so actually let's dive into that one first. Now, the book of the week is the book called The Pursuit. And that's this book right here. If you haven't heard of this book, if you've never read it, if you're looking for something to help you really build yourself up, mindset, whether it's a relationship goals or whatever you want to work on, you want to get big, you want to get better at something, this book is definitely a recommendation. I started this book 3 days ago. I'm almost done, so I have maybe like a couple more chapters left, maybe one chapter. But I'm almost done reading this book, and it's taught me so much. So I want to go through this book here with you guys and show you some of the things that I've been learning. Also, let me not forget who the author, who this book is by. This book is by Dexter Yeager and John Mason with Steve Yeager. So there was 3 people who contributed to writing this book. Now one head is good, but I think 3 heads are better than one head. So they put their minds and brains together to come up with this book and share their knowledge upon us. And I just want to dive in and share some of this with you guys and see what you guys think about some of these things, the topics that are in this book. Let's just dive in and find a page of some of the notes that I've been taking while I was reading this book. Now there's a bunch of stuff here, like I'll go past, but there's still key stuff. I might not talk about everything in this book, but it doesn't mean that everything in this book is not as important. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to talk about today is a quote that I came across while reading this book, and this is on chapter 13 on page 100 if you're reading this book, The Pursuit. All right, and the quote goes like this: "All I did was go to work every day," by Rich DeVos. And if you know who, some of y'all might not know who Rich DeVos is, but Rich DeVos is a very successful entrepreneur. He's a guy who came up with franchises all around the U.S. as well as around the world. But what he really stood out from is he came up with a business which is still going on. It's called the American Way, or the Amway Corporation, and he started that a long time ago. Before he got that started, he was telling you straight up, all I did was go to work every day. Now you can take that however you want to. Some people don't even like going to work. I don't like going to work. I don't want to have a shift where I go like a 9 to 5 and do that. I'd rather have my own schedule, do something like this on the radio or like a podcast or something. That's my type of work. It's not really like trading my time and energy for dollars, really. But doing something I actually enjoy doing. Now this quote, all I did was go to work every day, is simple, but some people do not understand it still. I think what he's saying by all I did was go to work every day was every single day he put that work in. No matter if it was practice, if it was going into work, if it was taking care of his children, or even setting up a meeting. Whatever it was, he was on it. He worked on it. He worked on his craft. And what he's saying is he put that work in so that he was able to create the results that he wanted in the end. And I thought this was really, really interesting. I think it stood out, so I wanted to point that out to you. All right, another one that I came across here that I actually did not have marked, I'm going to mark it right now, is Dexter Yeager. He said this quote here, and I like this. He said, "If you want success, learn to love what you do." Exactly what I was telling you. if you want to love success, you gotta love the thing you do. So whatever you're doing right now, if you're not very successful at it, it's probably because you're not doing something that you love. Now, if you find something you love, then it's something that you're very interested in. So you put a lot of time into it, you put a lot of energy into it. And so then the outcome of that is going to be a lot greater than something you really just don't want to do. And I find that you put a lot of energy into things you want to do, less energy into things that you don't want to do. All right, so I thought that quote was pretty cool. If you want success, learn to love what you do. I do want success, so I want to love what I do, and I do love what I do. So it is true. Just on 103, a few pages after that one, is a quote from in the book itself, and there's actually two here that stood out to me. Christopher Morley says, "Big shots are only little shots that keep shooting." Now, what he's saying with that, let me read it one more time. Christopher Morley says, "Big shots are only little shots that kept shooting." So what he's trying to say to us is these big shots, these big people, celebrities and all these other people, these big companies and names, they're only big because they kept on going. They kept on doing the things, the simple things from the beginning. Now, when they started, they weren't as up. For example, a company like Amazon. If you remember Amazon started as a book company. They actually started selling books. I remember they had like, wow, I wasn't there back then when they had like the paper books and stuff. But I remember the electronic Kindles. And if you remember the electronic Kindles, it was like almost like a little computer keyboard, and then it had a screen where you could like read. So people used to read books through there, and then they came out with the touchscreen Kindles and all that. And then out of nowhere, Amazon just started selling everything. Now, they were taking small shots at the beginning when they came out with their books, and they started taking big shots. They committed, and then they started taking big shots. And the big shots is what's really helping them grow. And Amazon's probably the biggest company in the world right now. In the world, if you don't know that. So that's something to think about for real. Christopher Morley says, "Big shots are only little shots that keep shooting." So keep shooting your shots. Whether if you want to go pro in doing the sports, whatever you want to pass the test, whether it's if you want to just go chase after a girl, don't stop shooting your shot, because eventually you're going to hit that shot. You're going to hit it. That's just going to be wet. Boy, that's just going to be wet. All right, another, on the same page, really, 103, out of this book that we've been talking about, The Pursuit. The Pursuit is a very good book. Once again, guys, if you haven't checked out this book, The Pursuit, this is a recommendation to you all. Go ahead, find this book in your local library and read it, because it's a good book that's really going to build your mindset, help you to grow your relationships, future relationships, and ongoing. All right, now we'll dive into a quote that I actually found in here that I want to talk about. When you make a commitment to do something in life, stick to it no matter what. Now, it doesn't tell you who this quote is from, but this quote is very deep. Whatever you decide to do in life, make sure if you commit to it that you stick to it. Anything that you really want to do. So something for example, for me, it's like playing the sport of rugby. I started playing this sport probably like 4 years ago, back in senior year in high school. And so I took this sport and I wanted to pursue it, so I pursued it into college. Out of high school, pursued it into college, and after I got into college, I finished with that, and now I'm still pursuing it after school. And so it just goes to show, really, whatever that you commit to. I committed to rugby back then, and I'm still playing the sport to this day. And so for me, it just shows commitment. I'm committed to doing this. I also want to be committed to reading a book every week. I want to read a new book every week. That's what I really want to do. That's a new commitment I'm adding to my list. Also, drink a bottle of water. If you don't drink a bottle of water in the morning, you're not hydrated. Just on the very next page, you see this book actually have a bunch of takeaways from here. Just on the next page, I found here, and this is a quote from the NIV, which is the Bible, just a version of the Bible. NIV, Proverbs 16:3 says, Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. Now, some people might not be religious, but you don't have to be religious to understand what this is saying. Commit to the Lord. You might not be religious, so take the word Lord out. Commit to whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. That's what it's saying. And you can take the whole spirituality out of there. They're saying the same thing. Commit to what you want to do, and you will succeed. But Proverbs says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. So for me, something I want to work on with the next year, 2 years coming on, is to be able to commit to the Lord. I'm a religious person, so commit to my Father, and so that I'm in a situation where I know that I'm going to succeed as long as I keep striving towards my goals. I thought this one was a pretty big one that I took from here. Now I'll give y'all one more. Here's a little story that I found in the book while I was reading it. It says, a man meets a guru on the road. The man asks the guru, which way is success? The bearded sage doesn't speak, but he points to a place off in the distance. The man thrilled by the prospect of quick and easy success, so he rushes off to the appropriate direction. Suddenly, there comes a loud splat. Eventually, the man limps back, tattered and stunned, assuming he had misinterpreted the message. He repeated his question to the guru, who again pointed silently in the same direction. The man obediently walked off, and once more. This time, the splat is defining, and when the man crawls back, he is bloody, broken, and tattered and irritated. I asked you, which way is success? He screamed at the guru. I followed the directions you indicated, and all I got was splattered. No more of your pointing. Talk, please. Only then does the guru speak, and what he says is this. Listen to what he says here. This is wild. Success is that way, just a little past the splat. He goes on then and says, all of us have experience of flat. It's what we do after the splat that makes all the difference. I gotta write this one down. Listen here, folks. Now, we've all experienced ups and downs. We've experienced the bad, we've experienced the good. What he's saying is right after that bad, whatever that bad thing is, or that splat from in this story, after that is going to come the success that you're looking for. After those hard times will come the good times. After that rain will come that what? That rainbow. So what he's saying is simple, really. What he's saying is simple, really. If you get through the splat, that's when you'll reach that success. And the first guy did not understand that at first. So then he goes on after the guy tells him, and he continues towards his success. I thought that was very interesting. Now, let me give you a last one before we go. I know I said it would be the last one, but there's one more I actually got here. To finish first, you must finish first. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what I said. All right. So the rich mayor said, to finish first, you must first finish. In order for you to finish in first place, or consider yourself to be first, the best, you have to finish first. This is not him saying you have to finish the first place. He's saying you have to finish first before you can even say you're the best at something. You know what I'm saying? You can't compare to these people unless you've done what they've done. See what I'm saying? You can't go compete in a half marathon expecting to win first place when you've never even ran a marathon. So I thought that was very interesting. I thought some of these quotes in here are very good. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, if you guys have not checked out this book, it's called The Pursuit. It's a very good book if you want to build your mind, build relationships, you want to talk to people, communicate, just be an all-out better person, really. And this book will teach you that. It's also written by Dexter Yeager and Sean Mason with Steve Yeager as well. So you know some pretty smart and successful people wrote this book. Alright. That'll be all for you guys today. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. And don't forget to hit that bell, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Cheeto Crew.
Don't
in the house, and you know we getting lit. Getting lit.
Yeah.
Getting lit. Chillin' in the house, and you know we getting lit.